Hey, hello, howdy, how you doing? Welcome back to I Just Fell Off the Roof and Broke My Leg, a series about falling off of roofs and fracturing our thighs. In all seriousness, I was up on the third floor admiring the roof and fell off before I started recording, so this is how I'm starting episode 2. This episode picks up shortly after the events of 1 and includes some visits to the mall, the baseball bat factory, and a full-on raid to the St. Peregrine Hospital. I don't really have anything else to add, so let's get into it. At this point, it's gonna be a few days before this thing heals, so I considered just farming my first aid by impersonating John McClane and walking on glass. The only holdup is that we're missing First Aid Volume 2, so I hopped on my bike and set out for the mall. Luckily, most of it had already been cleared by Rick and Hazard, so there shouldn't be too many zombies hanging around. I actually streamed a lot of this with a group, so if you want to watch that, it's up in the top right corner of your screen right now. Anyway, back to the adventure. Like I said, a lot of this has been pushed by some other members of the group, which gave me easy access to the mall library right inside the entrance. Not only did I find Volume 2, but I also grabbed a ton of books and skill magazines that we need for the future. With nothing but time on my side, I made my way back to base and removed my shoes and socks before placing some broken glass on the floor and proceeding to power level first aid. At around 8 o'clock, Newbert's mod Aragon picked me up and took me back into town to loot the mall some more. We needed food and general supplies, and I was one of the only members at the base at the time. And for once, it wasn't me who crashed a vehicle.
Ow, 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 ow.
With my bike totaled, we proceeded on foot, reaching the mall parking lot about an hour later, where we found Newbert and Rick's power leveling mechanics. Now that we had strength in numbers, I felt comfortable heading out on a small looting run with them in search of weapons and VHS tapes. We checked out the baseball bat factory first, which ended up almost killing the 4 of us. After crashing the bike again, we hopped out with the intention of just gunning down anything in the area, but got swarmed before I could fire more than one shell. Aragon slowed the zombies while I power hobbled my way down the street before Ricks came to the rescue, dropping me off in a safer location to hide in while he went back for the others. We had a brief moment of peace before a house alarm triggered, pulling in dozens of zombies while I immersed myself in peak 90s fashion. Truth be told, Rick 100% carried me here. I was a liability to the fullest extent with a broken leg and 2 stitched feet, making it near impossible for me to walk. It wasn't all bad though. I learned that Rick has superpowers and could kill zombies even without touching them. Some say it's desync, but I know the truth, and now you do too. It was around this time that Aragon managed to make one massive mistake. He underestimated the power of the PZ gods.
How many zombies are there?
There's like 4.
Hazard had shown up at this point as well, so normally this wouldn't be too big of an issue, but you see, Hazard broke his leg way before I did, back at the end of episode 1, so 2 of the 5 in our group were essentially immobilized, forcing us to retreat back to the mall. Newbert came up with this genius idea to head back on foot while I handled the police cruiser to go pick up Hazard, since he had both working legs and I was a literal cripple. With all of us safely back at base, I figured it was a good idea to just sit here until my injuries healed, or at least until the entire group was ready to move. It wasn't the end of the world though, there was no shortage of things to do around the base, so I got to work planting a garden. This took a considerable amount of time as the well is outside the base, so I had to hobble back and forth with buckets and water bottles to water the entire garden. Later that evening, we got wind of another group looting the mall, so Newbert, Flame, and I hopped in a car to take a trip down and loot whatever we could get our hands on before there was nothing left, which led to the following incident.
My
Fucking hell, what are you guys doing?
My foot is fractured. My foot is fractured. Take me home.
It's like you guys freaking manifested we were gonna die. We get T-boned at light speed by the only car in like 20 miles.
With Flame's foot splinted, we set back out for the mall. The grocery store section was completely untouched, giving us a few days worth of food given the group's size. I also hit up the gardening store to grab some more seeds and watering cans, which would be incredibly useful later on. Outside of that though, the mall was all scraps. Almost every store had been completely destroyed, leaving us only a couple items spread amongst the corpses. With only some food and gardening supplies, we headed back to base, arriving early the following morning. Nothing too crazy happened throughout the night. I rewatered the garden, which was a little faster this time since I had watering cans, but outside of that, we all just kinda hung out and waited for sunrise. Feeling overconfident and having learned nothing from yesterday's fiasco, we gave it another shot with less people. Newbert, Flame, and I set out the next morning with the hopes of reaching it before anyone else in Louisville got their hands on the weapons. Looking back, I think we were a little paranoid that if players had already looted the mall, it was only a matter of time before they targeted the warehouse, if they hadn't even looted it already. Flame and I went in while Newbert acted as our getaway driver, kiting the zombies around outside to prevent us from getting swarmed. This worked for a few minutes, but after the car stalled, Flame and I were forced to retreat into the warehouse section of the factory, leaving Newbert outside to fend for himself while we grabbed whatever we could carry without encumbering ourselves.
Oh no.
Let's go rescue a friend.
I took a decent part of the horde on me, so you should be alright.
I do have a shotgun if needed.
I do myself.
That's so unfair. That's so unfair. That's so unfair. That's so unfair. The headphones were
Flame.
working.
I'm
How am
alright.
I gonna be
No,
screwed by
that's the only
technical
exit.
failures of equipment beyond my control?
That's the only exit out there?
Well, we have to loop around. Here, come this way. We can lose them back here.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm on high exertion now.
Did you grab quick rest?
Yes, I did.
There's
so...
there's chairs
Oh,
back here.
excessive.
There's chairs, go. There's chairs.
Like, I can always still shoot, so it's alright.
Well, we still gotta make it back.
Yeah. Like, I shot earlier, so it's fine if you shoot inside.
We managed to grab 18 baseball bats, which should be more than enough for the group, before getting the car started and heading back to base. Also, Newbert has no idea who the Llama King Carl Wheezer is, so head on over to his channel and bully this man for his unspeakable sin against mankind. You don't know who Carl
Chat,
Wheezer
does
is?
that sound like Carl Wheezer? What?
Oh my god,
Who the
chat!
fuck sounds like Carl Wheezer now?
Did you hear what this man
Carl
just
Wheezer.
said? I don't know who Carl
what?
Wheezer is. Over the next 10 in-game days or so, the group went on a few raids and cleaned up the base some. I had hopped off to do some life stuff with the family and just hung out around the base waiting to heal from my injuries. I expanded the garden as a means to keep busy while I healed up, which is another way of me saying I finally healed from my broken leg and managed to get first aid level 7 in the process. All of that in anticipation of the big raid we were about to pull off. You see, there are several zombie cures spread throughout Knox County, with a couple of them located in the St. Peregrine Hospital. At this point, Newbert and Aragon had been bit, so it became a necessity to reach the hospital before anyone else had a chance to loot it. Now, it wouldn't be as simple as just walking in the front door. No. If you've seen any of the community events my staff has run in the past, you know that they like to go above and beyond for the added difficulty, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. The cures were located at the top of the hospital, but there was a distinct path to follow. All the windows on the ground floor had been welded shut, along with some of the staircases having been removed, forcing us on a single maze-like path to find our way up the building. The zombies were layered along with the building so that each floor contained a larger amount of zombies, slowing our progress immensely and also allowing zombies to work their way over to us from the ground floors due to the sounds of gunfire. Along the way, we noticed that there were green arrows pointing us in the direction of the next staircase, so at least we had a general sense of direction.
Those zombies are lagging really hard.
I know.
This game. Is the server joinable? Yeah, the whitelist is still open.
Someone just get that.
No, that's just general desync.
Yeah, I heard you get crunched, but it's not real. Don't worry. Your imagination.
Unless you hear somebody groaning with exasperation,
If you're someone complaining, then no one's there.
Pointing at the stairwell. Alright, guys.
The biggest issue we ran into on the second floor was just the sheer amount of desync. With the amount of players in such a small area, coupled with a few thousand zombies scattered through the cell, really does a number on the server. On top of that, multiple players hitting the same zombie risk completely bricking a multiplayer server because game dev, am I right? To counter this, we tried to stagger our shotgun blasts so that we didn't have an instance where 3 or 4 of us were shooting the same zombie at the exact same time.
missed my turn.
Oh my god, this thing does no damage. As we made our way deeper into the hospital, we found that whole sections of the hallway were blocked by metal fencing, forcing us to go down a pre-designated path directly into larger groups of zombies. On top of that, there were also these small doorways with zombies packed in like sardines waiting to ambush us. Once we reached the 3rd floor, we set up a sheet rope ladder for us to escape with, provided that no zombies were waiting for us in the parking lot. It was around this time that a random player had wandered into the hospital, up to the 3rd floor, and appeared behind us. He didn't really do much at first, just kind of watching from the background and offering his services at the most opportune times. Rick's just having a conversation with him right now. To the left.
Oh, I saw it coming, Aragon. Careful. Did someone just get bit?
No.
Yeah, we got the cadence. Back up, man.
No wonder I like
Drums back up.
I had to load them all in. Everybody in chat, cheer for a random guy that joined us.
Oh, he's leading the charge with his pitchfork.
I know.
What a hero! What a hero!
Dude, the Hazard's just taking a break over here. Dude, I've been working hard. Come on.
He has 10 Taylor, he's just trying to get us protected. Oh, 100%, he's just trying to lend a helping hand. You guys, you didn't even shut the door over here. Oh, there they go.
Okay, maybe don't hold the window. Boy.
If you don't hold the window, it's kind of dangerous. You just
Don't go over the trash.
you
Yeah,
dancing now?
Uh-oh.
Are you like intimidated or something? How about you help me forward? Yeah, when we talk this out with them,
Yeah.
diplomacy,
We got guys coming from behind.
you can scan the rooms empty.
More zombies in here? Uh-oh.
You must be like, oh my god. Yeah, no, behind you. Behind you.
Oh, that's long.
When you join the server, you have to sign up for a whitelist. It's all it's in the general announcements on my Discord.
Where the hell are they coming from?
Never mind. I'm alright. Go back.
Yeah, no, it's
Ooh.
Go back down, go back down. They're coming.
It's clear. Well, it's not clear, but it's manageable.
Go back.
I guess we're going up the stairs again.
The fourth floor was a massive ambush point, but with the payout we'd been hunting for. A lab room was set up here with a handful of zombification cures for us to grab. Along with the cures were several metal crates, including hundreds of boxes of shotgun shells. Oh, remember that random bystander from earlier? Well, he saved me a ton of time when I got separated from the group on the way back, crafting a sheet rope ladder to get us outside and back into the parking lot. Naturally, I let him go first, so I knew if it was safe or not. As payback for him covering me, we souped up a car in the parking lot and gave him a cure for his
Do
troubles.
we want to get the engine parts first and then go for the van?
This is all muscle memory. On the way back to base, Rick and Aragon had wrecked their car, so Hazard and I stopped to defend them from zombies while they transferred supplies.
Oh, full. Oh, they're heavy. Oh no.
Put them in the trunk of the ambulance. I still got them on me.
Fred's has saved me.
I just realized you just stopped driving.
I was trying to save Rick.
Fine, I have the ball of zombie behind me.
Shall I repair the ambulance so we don't die?
How bad is it right now? Do you check?
Nope. Yeah, good there.
If it's bad, yeah, repair it a tiny bit.
Oh, it's 8%.
Okay, maybe you should give it a quick.
Do you guys want to put your
put your
stuff in the trailer and we can drive you back?
But we have to get my van though. We can get the van later. Fine, I'll stay there. We can just get out of here.
Yeah, I'll put the engine parts in the.
Alright.
Did we lose any members? Not yet, no. Alright, I'm not gonna try fighting with this arm
You're
injury.
good with the axe, aren't you?
See you guys right here?
Yeah, we're in the middle of the road.
You know,
We offered them a ride back, but they were determined to get the ambulance up and running again, so Hazard and I just headed back to base with whatever we could carry. With the raid completed and the supplies successfully delivered back to base, all we have left to do is build up some fortifications around the base and we'll be ready for the hordes. Very heartfelt thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for making it possible for me to make videos for you all. I appreciate you all, and as always, Thanks for stopping by.